While you were in school, did you perform a lot as well?
I try to perform as much as possible because performing is what we do, and that's why I play music. It's for myself, but it's to connect with people who otherwise maybe I wouldn't connect to if I don't perform. So undergraduate years, I did perform as much as possible, but in grad school, especially being a collaborative pianist, I played in many people's recitals, concerts, studio classes, just any performance that they need a pianist, I try to perform because you learn so much from preparing for performance and performing, and just I like that energy of bringing one music with somebody who probably have different ideas about the same piece you're playing. I like that building together.
Is that something that you have noticed more and more as you've grown as a musician, is that there's very different ways of playing the same piece?
Yes.
Yes.
So I do a lot of collaborative piano work because that's what I'm passionate about, chamber music. And you do play same piece with different people and it becomes a completely different piece. Yes, the notes are the same, the rhythms are the same, but the musical ideas, because there's nobody who is same as you.
Yeah.
So everyone has their own music, and that's so beautiful about, I think, music, that it can be different and it can be beautiful in different ways.
So do you think that individuality comes from just lots of practice, or is that something that people actively try and get to?
It's a lifelong thing that, yes, I've been playing piano for a really long time. I've been playing music for a long time, but I'm still searching what really it is that I want to say in different kinds of music. I couldn't find my own voice until I was comfortable enough to actually play the piano physically, which I think at the beginning when you're actually starting to learn, you cannot say, oh, I'm going to express all the emotions I have in these two notes, you know?
Yeah, doesn't work that way.
That's where the technique comes in, and that's why it's so important that you're capable of doing what you want to do. All the artists, they're always on a journey of searching yourself and what it is that's so important that can express through music.
Yeah. And it's almost kind of like when you find who you are, then it's a part of you from the past. It becomes a part of you from the past, and so then it continues that search indefinitely.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
So music is like finding yourself, right? And then it's a way of expressing yourself in your own way, because everyone has different way, and that's what I like about music.
So when you're performing, what are some memorable moments that you've had on stage?
I think every performance is memorable in different ways, but one performance I always come back to is, it was at a festival in the summer, and I was about to play concert with a violinist. And right before we went on stage, we were backstage, we were waiting, and I hear this announced that a very good friend of the festival who's always attended concert and really supported the musicians, she passed away, and this concert will be dedicated for her. And we didn't know. We were just waiting, and we just heard the announcement. So I looked at the violinist, and we just kind of nodded to each other, okay, we'll play for her. So we played, and we came backstage. It was a little bit emotional, of course, because we were thinking about the person, and I think it was relating to the music. But we came backstage, and people came backstage to see us after the concert. And there was this family, like mother and father and kids. The family approached us, and they said, thank you. But they wanted to shake our hands, and they started kind of tearing their eyes, and they said, it was so beautiful. We are her family, and I know she would have really liked listening to you guys. And they thanked us, and it really hit me. And I think I thought to myself, this is why I do music, because you never know when you're performing who is listening and who needs the music most. So yes, you're playing your music, but when your music reaches somebody's heart, that's what's so special. So I always remember that concert and always tell myself before I play concerts, you never know who is listening, and you have to pray for that person who needs it the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in a band called the Uprising Movement, and I did some recording with them. And the lead singer and guy who pretty much was running that band, he talked about music as medicine all the time. Do you have any humiliating moments on stage?
I'm sure I have a lot of them.
Well, you share them with us.
I don't know how obvious it was, but I was once playing with a cellist on this Beethoven sonata. And there was a part where cello and piano goes back and forth. It's like a call and response, answer, and questions and answers. But somehow something happened so that we were playing at the same time. So when it's supposed to go cello, piano, but it was like cello, piano together, silence. Cello, piano together, silence. And we both were we didn't know what to do. So we kept skipping, but Senkri, I don't know if Senkri, we skipped to the same place. So we'll skip together and then play together again. And Senkri, we didn't go to completely different place that music just became non-Beethoven. He was still in harmonies, but it was like that for the whole page for piano score. And I don't know how we got back on together, but that was the most scary moment.
Yeah, and so sometimes that feeling that we get inside when something that we know is completely wrong might not translate into the audience actually thinking that.
Right.
And that's one of the things with a lot of students is the performance anxiety can be one of the hardest parts about growing into a musician, whether professional or amateur or just to do it for fun. But getting on stage can be really hard, and so I think that's important for aspiring musicians to keep in mind.
Yes, I always tell, if you don't tell the audience, I made mistake, either you make face or you stop playing, chances are that they don't know. If you keep that musical line, if you keep making music, people don't really care as much as if you stop and really just end the musical line. Then everyone, even the people who don't really know music, will notice that, something had happened. So you just have to pretend like everything is fine, even though inside you're probably upset and all that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's kind of the thing, too, is you're talking about how different musicians will play the same piece differently, just because that's how they feel. So maybe you wrote it that way, where you guys are supposed to be playing at the same time. That's your rendition.
Sorry, Beethoven.
Yeah.